plot holes, funny scenes and fun moments. Below is a list of the magnificent 7 goofs. Find out the hidden errors, mistakes and funny moments in the movie.
Anachronisms.
The beautiful widow's dress is very inviting to the viewer, but a respectable woman of the 1870s would never allow her upper torso, arms, or legs to be seen in public. That was the province of prostitutes. Both the 7 and other male characters are a remarkably liberal group for 1879. The 7 represent at least 5 different ethnic groups, and the only overt sign of bigotry in the film is Chris Pratt's character's "Oh, good, we have a Mexican." The slur "redskin" was also used only once. The racism Billy Rocks faced was implied in a story. Denzel Washington's character gets lots of pushback, but apparently not based on his race. All of this not likely in that era.
Continuity.
In a long shot of the damaged church bell tower, the reinstated bell is seen way above head height, but in a tighter shot the bell is shown much lower. When Bogue is in Sacramento and the 7 are helping the townspeople prepare for battle, a dedicated shot depicts them removing the Bogue banner from the outside of the mining office in town. In a subsequent scene, the banner is in place. When Matthew Cullen, Matt Bomer, is stood outside the church with his arms round his wife, he throws his hat to the floor. The camera angle changes and it's back in his hand before it flicks back to the original angle where he's not holding it again. When Josh Faraday retrieves a cigarette when on his knees, you can see some cards visible in his pocket. In the next shot the cards are gone. When Goodnight Robichaux is killed, he smashes through the railing of the belfry, slides down and off the roof, and hits the ground. A few scenes later, the belfry railing is intact. The year is 1879 and all of the actors have perfect-looking teeth, which wasn't characteristic of that time period. People back then in fact had rotted or no teeth. Early in the movie, when Faraday tells Chisholm "Pity, I had just ordered a drink from him," after Chisholm shot the wanted bartender, Chisholm pushes a drink across the bar towards Faraday. The camera cuts between the two characters a few times, and after the final cut just before Chisholm exits the bar, the drink is no longer on the bar at all. Factual errors. The one time we see Chisholm, Washington, reload his Colt single-action army revolver, he flips open the loading gate and spins the cylinder upside down, which quickly dumps his empty shells to the ground. Spent shells would not be able to loosely fall out of the cylinder like that due to the pressure of firing the bullet, causing the mouth of the cartridge to swell and basically get stuck in the cylinder. He would have needed to use the ejector rod to punch the shell out. However, it's Hollywood, and that looked way cooler than having to eject a single shell at a time. As the crew ride into the mining operation to score some dynamite, an American flag is flying on a wooden pole. This particular flag didn't come about until 1896, about 20 years after the film's time period. Red Harvest. Martin Sensmeyer has a mohawk hairstyle in the film. The Comanche never cut their hair in the style of a mohawk. However, he does claim to be sort of an outcast and could have decided to cut his hair that way, by chance, since the Comanche were located in and around Texas and the Mohawk in New York State. When Faraday is telling the townspeople about Robichaux's history, he says that he had 23 confirmed kills at Antietam. Since both men were Confederates, they would have referred to that battle as Sharpsburg, not Antietam. The look of the Mohawk hairstyle which Red Harvest sports throughout the film is a modern one and not at all unique to the time period in which the film takes place. It is also very doubtful that a Native American out in the West would have facial paintings which look as clean and well designed as his do. Despite hundreds of shots and explosions, only men's bodies are seen on the ground and no dead or wounded horses. Like most westerns, this film depicts the characters repeatedly fanning their revolvers to get off multiple shots very quickly. While it appears to be effective and accurate, for all practical purposes, it is quite the opposite. For one, holding the trigger back and slapping the hammer with the opposite hand, fanning, is very hard on the action of the gun, and unless they had a gunsmith custom build their guns to withstand that punishment, They would have broken within a few reloads. Second, the accuracy of fanning from the hip would be horrendous unless one spent countless hours practicing, and even then, to hit multiple targets running and on horseback and while under fire, would be quite a featuring indeed. When Goodnight Robichaux is killed, he smashes through the railing of the belfry, slides down and off the roof, and hits what is obviously a stunt board on the ground, kicking up dust. Plot holes. When Bug returns from Sacramento, his mini-army numbers perhaps 70, with distinct boundaries to the lateral column of men, at least in the wide shots. In the ensuing battle at least 70 are seen being shot or blown off their horses prior to Bug requesting the wagon, whilst many more subsequently appear to die. This does not preclude reinforcements being brought in from off-screen, but no indication is given where they all came from. During an inventory of kills after the initial major shoot-up, 4 of the 7 claim 6, 5 and 7 respectively. 24. Bug, when confronted with the news in Sacramento, states that 22 of his men were lost. Of course, Faraday's claim of 7 kills may have been just braggadocio on his part. Revealing mistakes. In a close-up shot of the shells under the Gatling gun, we can see that it is firing blanks. The Magnificent 7 Goofs.